Welcome to the Die Again podcast, an actual play podcast where each episode is a new chance of survival. Our host is Josiah, and I'm the player William. Join us as we play through this scenario where anything could happen.
Alright, so after getting back, after hearing odd noises and reaching a locked gate, you went to bed. At around 4 a.m., you hear sirens, police sirens, outside. Not like right outside, but moving.
Okay, so this time I will wake up. Do I see the siren lights like through my window?
No. Well,
Does
I
it
guess
sound like
if you open the window and then you look, you can sort of see them. Like you can't see the lights themselves, but you can see up kind of where they are, so you know what direction they are.
Okay. Do I hear anything?
So it's towards the residential area. The sirens are the only thing you're hearing.
Okay, so then I'm gonna grab my camera in case I need it and walk outside.
All right. I assume you also put clothes on because we've established that you have. I think you sleep in boxers, right?
Yeah, he would get suited up. Like, not
Alright.
fully, but enough to look presentable.
All right. So you head out. Are you just going to try and take your van and go where the sirens are, more or less? Or walk?
Well, it's not walking
It
distance.
could be. You don't know yet. Because, I mean, you would guess probably anywhere in town is walking distance, really. But
I guess I'm just assuming if I can hear it, then it's close enough to where I would just walk.
I guess the question is just whether or not you would want to have your van so you could you could hide in the van.
I would not think about getting the van.
Okay.
So no van.
So you walk over. So one of the, I was going to say, I don't know if you know, but you do know it's a prefab home, the type.
Okay.
But it looks like half of it is basically, I don't know if you've ever seen one after a tornado comes through, but it's like that. It's just ripped up.
Okay.
And you see the sheriff and you see that there's a body bag and there's a lot of blood on the grass.
Okay. So since when I look at this, I'm thinking hurricane, I look around. Does it even remotely look like anything else has been touched?
Clear skies as far as that goes. And then as far as anything else being touched, you can sort of see looking past, you can see some damage on the trees and a little bit of the earth has been torn up as well. But it kind of looks like it hit the house and then stopped.
Okay. So I'm going to approach the sheriff then.
Okay. So he's going to, once he sees you approaching, he's going to hold a hand out and he's going to say, police business, go back to your home. The most serious you've ever seen him. He kind of looks like he's going to be sick.
Like sick from the shock, kind of sick.
You aren't sure. I guess if you want to make a awareness, let's call it awareness check. I don't think you have anything to add to it. You didn't take psychology.
Well, you don't know that. Maybe I, did a minor in psych or something.
Okay. Well, you didn't pass psychology.
My awareness is at 4, so that's just 2 dice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a total of 10.
Yeah, you're not sure. It could just be that there's not a lot of crime here, so for there to be someone dead, that's a big deal. It could be, you see the blood around. It could be that the body's grisly.
Okay. So he's telling me police business. I'm going to tell him that I'm a reporter. I don't know if he knows that. I don't remember ever bringing it up.
I don't think you brought it up to him. You've told a couple people.
Yeah.
I think you told the eco girl, but that's it. All right. So you're going to try and convince him to let you on the scene because you're a reporter?
Yeah. And I'm wondering if, since my guy he's a tabloid reporter, I wonder if there's a chance that I might have like some bogus documentation on me for something more like legitimate.
I'll give you a 2 in 6 chance to have that stuff.
Okay. So what am I rolling?
Roll 1d6, and if you get 1 or 2, you've got it.
Okay. Oh, I dropped that dice, so I'm just going to re-roll. It's a 1.
Okay, so you've got some fake credentials photocopied in like a Staples or something.
So they don't look real at all, or
they're convincing enough to pass at like a superficial glance from someone who isn't really trained to know better, but
so this isn't like I can get into.
You're not enough of a big shot to make really good fakes.
Okay, good enough fakes for 2000 whatever we're in.
For small town 2000 whatever that's never seen a reporter before, probably.
Okay, so I flash him my documents.
So I'm gonna show him the documents. Make an influence. Let's call it street talk roll.
Okay, influence street talk +1. Okay, and +5. So 6. I rolled a natural 1, so that's a 7.
2 dice.
Cool.
Natural 1 on 2 dice.
So that was also not a great roll. So 7 plus these 2, so 9. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
So he just waves you off and says, I don't care who you are. Just go back. Recognizes you now. He goes, go back to the motel. If you want to talk to me, you can do it in the morning. I have to call in a helicopter for this.
Okay, so then I'm going to try to like find a place to hide and basically just watch. And if anything comes up, then try to take a photo or record if I can or whatever.
Okay. So, it's residential. So you've got a number of houses like that one. So they're just those sort of rectangles. The forest is behind that house.
So there's the forest and then like the street and then the house, or
forest, house, street, house.
But the house that got attacked is the one closest to the forest.
Yes.
I'm not going in the forest. That's where the creepy crawlies are, or who knows what. Do I recognize, is there a vehicle at this house that doesn't belong to the sheriff, obviously?
There's one of the minor work trucks, but you don't recognize it because they all look pretty similar.
But it doesn't look like it belongs to, I don't remember the guy's name, the guy with the cast.
Remember, you've already failed to identify his truck before. Not going to give you multiple rolls to identify a truck.
But why not? All right, so there's no, like, the house is around it. There's no places where I could potentially hide.
I mean, you could try to, like, sneak around the side of one of the other houses, but it's not... These are all pretty new. These are all the ones the miners brought up here, basically.
Okay.
So a lot of foliage got ripped out to make it possible.
Okay. Then I'm going to do the thing I said I wasn't going to do and try to find a place somewhere in the forest where I can hide and see if I could just watch from there.
So are you going to basically walk like you're going to leave, but then go around one of the houses and go into the forest?
Yeah.
Then you're going to try and loop around and get to where you have... What are you trying to get a visual on? Just the sheriff?
The sheriff. I want to make sure I have a clear view of this house. I'd imagine my guy probably would have lenses for taking, further away photos. So I want to get some decent photos of this quote unquote hurricane that has destroyed this house. Like if it's claw marks or whatever it could be, get those photos before any serious forensics or whatever gets to it. And basically I want to have my data before anything that gets out there.
All right. I don't think sneaking is going to be an issue here. So I want you to make an awareness check for the photos.
Just awareness?
Just awareness, yeah.
Okay.
Because we never gave you any sort of photography ability.
That seems like a mistake.
For some reason, I gave you oratory when I should have given you, like, photography. But...
Awareness, you said?
Yes.
That is a 9.
Okay. You take a few pictures with your good camera. The digital one just isn't going to work in this low light. You'll have to get them developed, but you kind of get the feeling that just with the lighting, your photos just aren't going to come out as well as you need them to. It might be something that you stick in like a blog post or something. Coming soon, Appalachian investigation.
It's the photo quality you would get like on a paper cover back or something.
Bigfoot photo.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then I got these photos. Is there a role I can do just for observing as well?
Well, I guess first, how long are you going to stay there?
I want to stay there probably up to the point where people come more than just a sheriff.
I think for that, you will need to make a stealth check once there's like more people on the scene, basically. I'm going to call this a creativity check to stay hidden. I don't think you have anything that really aids in this, so it's just raw creativity. Hopefully this is better than every other roll you've made so
today
far.
Yeah, it has not been a... That's better. Okay, creativity, that's a 15.
So you managed to push together some foliage and hide in it, and you watch, he gets on the radio, calls what you find out is a helicopter when it shows up. They put the body on the helicopter and fly out with it. He's gone around the trailer a few times, sort of looking at stuff. Well, not trailer, but you know what I mean.
The sheriff?
Yeah, the sheriff's sort of going around. He goes inside, he looks at stuff, sort of trying to inspect it, figure out what's happened. Then eventually, he puts up the police tape and drives off.
And no one else is there?
No.
Okay.
You would guess that he probably, like the people who were in the surrounding buildings, he probably had already dealt with before you got there.
Okay, so I'm going to approach now then.
So now that he's gone and you're going to move past the tape and get in there.
Right.
So you get in, there's debris at the opening point there that you're stepping into. Make an awareness check here.
Just awareness.
Yeah.
Rolls are not doing good today. So that's a 10.
With a 10, you notice a light that's inside the house, and you see a computer that's on, one of those old CRT monitors, and walking over to it, you see Robert Capwell's MySpace, where he's bragging about how great it is that he got a real photographer on site. It is the worst MySpace I think you've ever seen, probably. He's got like black background, red font, and it's Comic Sans.
Nice. So he has MySpace fully opened.
Yeah, like that's the thing that's open on his computer.
I'm going to go into his settings on MySpace. What's his email address?
Capwell@AOL.com.
Okay, so I'm going to write that down. If I open up the tab and go to AOL.com, does it automatically open?
Yeah, there's already a tab with his AOL
Okay.
open. You get the feeling that he has a tab for all the things he does, and all the things he does is MySpace and AOL.
Okay, so AOL, I'm going to initiate a password change
All right.
and change it to a password that I know. And this way I can log into it whenever.
And he can log into it never.
What do you mean?
He doesn't know what the password is.
Well, no, oh yeah, you're right, because it does ask you, it prompts you to, what's the old password? He doesn't have it written down somewhere?
No, what I'm saying is you can change the password, but then how's...
Well, so I can get it.
I mean, you're already in, but if you want to
Make sure I
change
can,
it so you can keep getting in.
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Okay. In his email, is there anything of importance?
No. You see a few emails in all caps that say things like 9 inches now. Hot singles in your area.
But nothing from
But no.
the environmental girl or anything like that.
No, he does not give out his email to random people who harass him.
This is why he's failing at this LinkedIn idea that he has. He's not giving out emails. He's giving out fax numbers or something.
That'd be really funny if he had a fax machine, but that's way too expensive for him. I know, he's got his pager number listed.
No, okay. Okay, so nothing important in his email. His MySpace is just him bragging about getting a professional photographer.
Yeah, it's just really shitty bragging.
But nothing like no friend requests, message, or nothing if I dig in a little deeper.
No.
Okay. Is there anything of importance on his desk?
The keys to the truck.
Okay. I was just thinking I probably should be wearing gloves this entire time.
Should be. Do you want to roll to see if you did do that?
I think so.
With your reasoning 1?
Yeah.
Make call it streetwise plus reasoning, and if you get 10.
Okay. 6. That's a 10. Right on 10.
So you remember to bring your break-in gloves.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the keys. I don't plan on taking the truck, but I just want to get inside of it, look around.
Okay. You gonna do that right now?
Yeah.
Get in the truck, make another awareness check.
That's a good roll. 13.
13. Okay. Looking around, you pop open the glove box and you find another key. This looks like the type you would use for like an outdoor master lock.
Okay.
And if you had to guess, you'd say that this is the key to the gate.
The gate for work.
The one that you got stopped at before when you were trying to go to the old mine.
Okay. Is there anything else of importance in the glove box?
Not unless you put a high value on cigarettes.
So I'm going to go back in the house and put the keys, the truck keys back on the desk. I want to look at these, the marks that were left behind by whatever, the destruction. I just want to take a closer look at it.
Make an awareness tracking check.
2 and okay, so plus 6. That's a good roll. 17.
Okay. So looking at it, you begin to realize that these, like, where it's torn apart, you can't make much of it, but where it's still attached, you see a bunch of puncture holes, and it looks similar to the hose that was punctured on the machine, you realize.
I want to get a close-up photo of this specifically.
All right, so you get that.
Okay, is there anything else of importance before I leave?
Not that you note.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave, dispose of my gloves, and find a path where I can kind of just, people won't notice me, and then get back on a typical path back to the motel.
All right, you do that. You head back. You're just gonna go back to bed.
What time is it?
Now, probably like 6.
No, he's going to go ahead and go to the diner.
Get some coffee.
Yeah, basically pretend that after he got woken up by the sirens and tried to talk with the cop or the sheriff that he went back, and he's continuing his day as if he did.
So you head into the diner, order your coffee and the same meal that they serve everybody, and you feel someone tap on your shoulder.
Okay, I turn around.
All right, you see the eco activist, who I don't believe you ever asked the name of.
Okay.
She says, "Hey."
Hey, what's your name again?
So she says, "Helen.
Hey, Helen. What were you about to ask me?
I want to know if you'd found anything else out about the nature spirit."
You know, I haven't run into any super strong proof. The forest is kind of weird. There's definitely some creepy crawlies running around. Do you have anything to tell me about the nature spirit?
She says, "Oh, not really, but I just think you should include me in whatever investigation you do." And she would probably think it's subtle, but you would not think it's subtle. She has her flip phone open and sort of shows it to you, and it's a picture of you in the remains of the house behind the police line. It's that moment where you turned your head to look at the computer.
Okay. Is this cell phone quality?
Yeah. So it's not a great picture or anything, but I mean, you would assume that she would only need to take it to the sheriff because she is a native there. So
let's see here. So I have a negative to intimidation, so I don't know. I can try that, but I feel like I'll just get myself in trouble.
You can always try.
I can always try. But
and you do still have good influence, so it's still a +4.
I think I want to try something along the lines of maybe this would still be an influence role. I want to kind of gaslight her into like thinking that photo means nothing.
Gaslight, gatekeep.
I'm just a horrible guy, apparently.
I mean, if we just look at your list on your character notes, Victor Smith is a tabloid paranormal investigator and grifter. Californian? Yeah. Nothing good here. Hell, you already told us you use an Apple Mac.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you say to her?
I think I want to go something along the lines of, look, kid, that's a crappy flip phone photo. No one's going to believe that that's me. You have no proof of anything.
All right, make a influence, call it negotiation.
Okay, you're being generous, and I appreciate that. +6. I can show you if you need me to. 2 6s.
Nice.
And then 6, so
18 total, which I think
18.
Almost as high as you're going to get on a normal roll.
I've gone beyond.
So she sort of deflates and, well, you can still put me in the investigation. I want to believe.
Say something like, look, kid, you can't just go blackmailing people like that and not be ready. Is there anything that you need to tell me about the nature spirit?
She sort of shakes her head and stomps off, disappointed.
It'd be really funny if she still shows the sheriff. And he's like, yes, this is enough.
Yeah. I should just start making die rolls periodically to see if she does it.
Well, I imagine, too, it's a crappy photo, but it's enough. There's no mistaking. It's the guy that randomly showed up.
Well, you have your camera out, probably.
Yeah, and I look exactly the way how I did when he saw me that morning.
Yeah, and you were right there before, so even if it was a bad photo, he would still be like, well, if you say it's that person, and that's the person who was harassing me about getting in there, then it's probably that person. So what are you have your breakfast, what next?
I think I'm gonna go ahead and head towards the old mind. You know, I have permission to go there. I'm not gonna, unless it's locked, I'm not gonna use the key to open up the gate. I assume it's gonna be open like normal, and I just want to head over there.
So you're gonna take your van, drive out. So since it's daylight, you can take it slow enough you don't have to make any rolls this time, since you've been up and down these roads a few times. Now that it's daylight, it's not too big of a deal. You head past the gate, you take a right this time, and head to the old mine. This path is in worse condition, so you have to take it much slower. You have to put the van in low, as this road has not been maintained. Make an awareness check as you're driving this road.
Okay.
Awareness tracking, I'll say.
Okay, so then that's a +6 to my roll. That is a 14.
14. Okay, so you notice that some of the trees as you're going this way are sort of torn up the same way the trees near the house were.
I want to take a photo of these as well.
All right, you get a photo. Driving, I assume, towards the old
Yes.
mine. Getting there. Have you ever been to an old mine? Well, I'll describe it anyways in case someone hasn't. You've got some discarded tools around the entrance, a pickaxe and a shovel. There's a couple of what you assume were burial markers, sort of piled up stones with the remains of like some twine and wood. And then there's a hewn logs propping up an entrance into the side of this rock, side of the mountain.
The pick, the tools that are there, are they super rusted?
Yes.
Okay. And so the burials you're talking about, I mean, I guess I'm a little confused. Are this obviously like human burials?
You would assume so. I'm saying, like, imagine just like a pile of stones, sort of like a
Yeah.
mini pyramid. That would be like a grave marker. And then the wooden twine you would take to have been crosses at one point.
Okay. Is there a name on any of this stuff?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take a photo of this too, thinking if I'm not in trouble with the sheriff, maybe I'll ask him, like, hey, I had permission to be here taking photos. Can you tell what's the story behind this? That's what I'm thinking. But
All right.
for now, do I have a flashlight on me to just go inside this mind?
Yeah, we've established you have a flashlight.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and venture in there then.
Okay. Make I'll say it's reasoning. I'll let you add meta sciences.
The meta science I don't believe in.
Yeah.
So that's +2 and +3 for reasoning, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 7.
Okay, so you head in. So it's stone walls and dirt floors, basically. Stone above, old wood. You can see where parts of it have the wood is caved in, but the cave itself hasn't, because there's supports often enough that some of them can break without the whole structure collapsing.
I mean, I'm assuming this wood looks like rotted at this point.
Some of it does, yeah. And most of it looks on its way.
Can I do, maybe it's a tracking roll for just seeing if there's any obvious, like, recent movement in here?
Yeah, I'll let you make an awareness tracking.
Okay. That's a 12 total.
You pick up on something that seems a bit odd. There's a line in the floor of the mine that seems to go like if you drove a wheelbarrow through, but you didn't leave footsteps behind you.
Is it really
It's like
thin
that.
too, or like normal?
It's fairly thin.
Does it look like, because depending on how the dirt is moved, does it look like it's going into the cave or out of the cave?
You would guess it's going out.
Okay. I'm assuming that mines, for a certain point of going into them, would have lighting. Is there an electrical system, or is this a really old?
No, this is also based on what you already knew about it. This part of the country might not have been electrified at the time the mine was here. The town might have had electricity, but the mines definitely wouldn't have.
Right. Okay. So the only way I'm going to navigate in here light-wise is by my flashlight. I'm going to go ahead and go deeper.
You head further in. The mine begins to fork.
Okay.
So there's one that seems to more or less stay level that's to the left, another one that starts to do an incline downwards to the right. The line is coming from the further down section.
Okay. So I want my guy to leave like a marking somewhere to kind of show like, hey, like this is the exit. Like maybe grabbing a stone and doing a mark with an arrow or something like that to say this is the way out.
All right, so I'll let you do that. Which direction are you going?
I'm going to try for now to the left. That's inclining, correct?
It's just level.
Oh, it's just level. Okay. Then I'll go on the left first.
So you go that way. Pretty soon you see it's caved in.
Okay.
Looks like the supports broke. A lot of rocks fell down. You do see that some of that rock is coal. So you would guess that that's why they were there.
Okay. There's no like sign or nothing. It's just what you described.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and head back. Is the marking that I left still there?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to go to the right, descending.
Heading down, see, it's just a straight path down, seems like, at a slight incline, like a 20-degree. It sort of starts to wind and conform to the geography.
Is that normal?
With your reasoning roll of 7, you're not sure about mines.
Let's see. This is before Minecraft, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you just don't have that experience.
Okay.
You haven't played Dwarf Fortress.
Okay, so I'm just going with it.
As you're going, you healed your fatigue, I believe, when you rested. Let me double check that.
Okay, because I'm still at strained.
Yeah, let me just check, but I believe that is the case because I think fatigue heals pretty fast. Oh, no, you don't actually, because you did your night escapades, so you did not get 6 hours of rest.
But what if I went to sleep at like 8? Then that'd be 6 hours.
So you're heading down. I guess I should have been adding that difficulty, but I don't think it's a big deal for the things you were doing. But it's going to matter now because I need you to make a fitness check as you're heading down.
So earlier in the day, I was like, oh man, I'm feeling great. Like, I'm feeling awesome. Like, I'm a 20 something and I'm good. And all of a sudden, it's like, ooh, my back. And I'm like, oh, I gotta do this.
I feel like you got that adrenaline hit when the sirens went off. And then
Right.
you were riding on the coffee. And now the adrenaline
Right.
and the coffee's worn off. And you're just someone who's older than he should be.
Okay, what am I rolling for again?
Just fitness.
It's not too bad. 11.
All right. So you start to feel a little lightheaded, but you don't take any fatigue damage or anything as you're progressing further down. You finally reach a point, and it seems odd because shining your flashlight forward, there are no support beams going forward.
Meaning this is a natural cave now, or
You're not
or natural
sure.
opening?
It seems like it's the same size, so it's like it was
Yeah.
made the same way, seemingly. But there's no support beams or anything. But the line you're following continues that direction.
And there's no marking, there's no nothing like that.
Nothing.
Okay, I'm just going to keep on going then. I don't know.
All right, you continue to follow this. I need you to make another fitness check.
That is a 10.
So again, you feel a little lightheaded, but you're okay. And
Is this like an oxygen problem at this point?
I don't know, with a reasoning roll of 70, have you considered the effects of electrical equipment in a area with contained gases? I don't know.
Man, I haven't considered bringing a canary bird with me or anything.
Yeah. But you head in, and eventually you reach a point where the cave ends.
Okay.
You see that the cave wall where it ends, that the line leads up to, is pockmarked. And the pocks kind of are the same size as the holes that you've seen chunked into things.
What's a park mark?
Pockmark? So
Yeah. Should I just look it up really quick?
Yeah, it's kind of like if there's a bunch of dents in something, like little tiny ones, but not full holes, that's something's pockmarked.
Oh, like at work, the aluminum that's left outside that gets weathered on and okay. So what was pockmarked?
The wall of the cave that the line leads up to.
Okay, I want to take a photo of that, and then provided nothing happens for me doing that, I want to feel it.
Which camera do you use? Make a reasoning roll right now to tell me which camera you use.
The roll determines which camera I use.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm scared. Let's see here, because my reasoning is a 1, and that's a 6.
That's a 6.
That's a 6.
All right, you pull out your digital camera and power it on. And I want you to make a D6 roll, and if you get a 1 or a 2, tell me that.
I got a 1.
Okay, you take the picture without incident.
Now, side note, would a gas buildup like that, can an electric device just...
Yes, it depends on how much gas is built up to make it possible and what kinds of gases. But yes, turning the device on and off can do that.
Cool. So I just obliviously continue on because I
Well, that's the end of that area. So as far as you know, you've explored the old mine to completion.
When I felt it, nothing happened. Nothing was weird about it.
You felt the wall?
Yeah, I decided to touch it.
Make a single D6 roll and tell me what you get.
A 6.
You put your hand on the wall and one of your fingers goes over and into one of the pockmarks and comes back out, but it feels like when you do that, something's moving inside the pockmark. Sort of like if you ever put your hand on sand that was being held by something that's shaking. It's like that, like vibrating sand. Just the barest hint of it.
Can I, since we've talked about the fact that I carry gloves with me in case I need to try to touch something that I don't want my fingerprints on, can I keep some of the sand? Can I bring some of the sand inside the glove?
Yeah, if you want to try and just scrape up some loose rock and sort of push it into the glove and then invert the glove, basically.
Yeah.
I'll say you do that. I don't think you need to do a roll.
Okay. Now, after that, I think I'm going to go ahead and head back out of the mind.
Make another fitness check.
So that's 9.
So you're going to take another point of fatigue. The very thin amount of oxygen that you're getting here is starting to be a real problem for you.
Okay, so I'm officially exhausted now.
But you make your way out of the mine. Your van's still there. Nothing seems odd.
So now that I'm exhausted, I'm thinking, we're still in the morning, right?
Say probably like around 10 a.m. now.
I'm thinking my character is going to want to, if you're going to allow it, to go back to maybe the motel and crash, because now he's exhausted. I think he's going to want to sleep.
I mean, if you want to go there and sleep, your character's definitely tired enough to do it. Nobody's going to stop you.
Right. So if I get there around 11ish, then sleeping till 8, 9, that 6 hours you said for recovering?
Yeah. But I'll assume your guy sleeps 8, just being a normal person. 6 hours of rest gets you'll remove 2 of your points of damage there.
Okay.
So that'll move you up to stressed.
Okay. 8 hours later, we're talking now, it's 8 p.m., 9 p.m., somewhere around there, right?
Yeah.
I want to see if I can find the eco girl.
Okay, so you're going to try and look for her again?
Yeah.
All right, where do you start?
I guess I will try first at the crime scene.
Okay,
from this morning.
You're going to head to the crime scene.
Yeah.
You head there. I'm not going to require a roll. You don't see her.
Failing that, maybe the diner?
Head into the diner. Make a 1d6 roll.
Okay, that's a 4.
So you get there, and she is not there.
Did she give me her number at some point?
I think you gave her yours.
Okay. Yeah, that does sound right. Well, if not there, I guess I would just head back to the bar.
You head to the bar. She isn't there, and you don't see the sheriff's car there tonight either.
Are the normal amount of miners, though, there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I go into the bar. Is Capwell there, or any miners where I could ask them about those graves?
There's other miners there, some of which you might recognize from the dig. Capwell isn't there.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and try to talk with some of the other miners then. I just want to ask them what's the story behind the old mine.
Okay, I want you to make a influence street talk check. You need to do good because someone died today and they don't want to talk about some fucking old mine.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Street talk, you said?
Yeah.
That is a 17.
So you managed to locate one of the miners and get him talking, probably buy him a beer.
So I guess before I ask the question, what are they talking about with what happened?
They're not talking about it too much, just walking around, you sort of get the sense that nobody's really sure what happened. And despite Capwell being kind of a pain in the ass, they're all pretty torqued that he's dead.
He's a lovable idiot.
Half of that, anyways.
Okay, so then after we talk about Capwell and how much he was loved and missed in this community, I want to ask him, speaking of, unfortunate deaths, I was taking photos of the old mine and I saw what looked like graves. You know anything about that?
One of them says, yeah, that mine got shut down after cave-in, killed a man, Montwaite.
And this was back in the 1950s?
Yeah.
Okay, so is there any other information to any of that?
Not from them, no.
Okay.
They don't know a lot about it.
Do you guys know where the sheriff is?
They shake their heads.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the bar as far as like the business guy that I had talked to you, like about the photos?
You get the impression he doesn't go to the bar.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and leave the bar situation then. Would I know where to find the police department?
You can walk around and probably find the sheriff's office.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Doesn't take you too long. Find it. It's along the same area as the gas station and the rest of that same road. The car's parked right in front of it. The lights are on.
Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and enter.
Push it open. The little bell rings. It says, "Can I do you for?"
I just want to ask him about, what happened with the crime scene.
Let's make that a negotiation influence.
That is a 11.
He just sort of shakes his head and he says, "It was a real bloody mess, whatever it was. Capwell was just all over the place. Sort of looks like he does not want to talk about it."
Well, then I want to proceed with, this might be a really awkward time, but I was wondering if you could tell me any information about the old mind.
He shrugs and says, "Not much. Tell the kids not to play out there, but that's about it. Some guy died back in 54.
Okay. So if he doesn't have any more information, then I guess my character would just want to leave. Perhaps he goes back to his motel and goes onto like the local news and see if there's anything about, not necessarily more information than what the sheriff is telling me, but just what local, what the local people are saying.
Okay. Yeah, you've got satellite, so there's a little TV there that'll get that. So you can get the local news. Roll a D6.
That's a 4.
4. Yeah, so the news isn't really talking about it right now. It's covering other stuff. There's some big traffic fatality a couple towns over, that kind of stuff.
So where the rock slide happened, is there any improvement on that, or is it pretty much exactly where it was?
If you're gonna walk over there and check,
Yeah.
it looks like they've gotten some machines out there and they're working on it now. Like, they're not working on it right now, but they've done some work.
I guess then my character might decide to go back to sleep. Sleep another 8 hours, be up around the normal 6 a.m.
I think we'll call it there.
I think so, yeah. The plot thickens and things are getting a bit creepy. What is in store for Victor Smith? Thank you for joining us on the Die Again podcast. We are a new podcast, so we're learning as we go. Please consider giving us a follow and tune in next time.